Here we have Bonney versus Red Purple Sugar. The opponent's choosing to go second here. We're going to mulligan this hand a little bit better. Just pass turn. They're going to play down their Searcher and just pass turn. We're just going to go, we're going to just chip 5. So they use the event, which is alright. Then we're going to deploy down a blocker and pass turn, leaving one dot open so that we can rest down something. So end of your turn, if you have a character with Don Quixote Pirates type with a power of 6k or more, status one of your Dons is active. In your opponent's turn, once per turn, you may activate an event set up one of your Don from your Don deck is active. Alright, so they use a Searcher to get I Can Never Forgive Someone. They played down another one of these. We're going to use a card effect here to rest their other Searcher. And we're actually going to take this first hit. So now we're at 5. We're going to play down our Cavendish. And we're just going to go 6 into one of those Searchers. So debating if I wanted to pressure with my blocker into this. See if I can get a 2k out. Yeah, I'm going to attack into it. See if I can get a 2k out of hand. That works. We'll just pass turn. Leaving one Don open. They're at 8 Don already. They are ramping extremely hard. They got the blocker Viola. 1 on leader. They're going to pressure 6. We're going to say no block, and we're going to give them a 2k. They still have 6 to work with. They get rid of our Cavendish. So we're just going to deploy down our Carrot to keep their little Searcher frozen. And I'm going to go 6k into life with my leader. They take this hit, we just pass it back. They're already at 10 Don. Insane. 7k. Going to take... We do draw the edge off, kidding. We have a lot of blockers here. So, I mean, that's not a bad option. But the Doflamingo is pretty good, and the Rosnati is really good. So, I'm just going to get a bunch of Dawn back at the end of the turn. So, we're at 9 here. We're going to play down the Kid. We're going to use this to put down the Rosnati. We're going to go 6 into life, freezing, keeping this Sugar Searcher frozen. We're going to use an event here to counter out, more likely. We're going to just pressure 5 with our leader into this Sugar. Using another event, getting another blocker, letting it go. Okay, so we have 2 blockers. We didn't have the open Dawn, the extra Dawn to freeze one down. So we're going to have to use some blockers and counter in order to protect this Kid this turn. But we still have 2 more blockers in hand. I'm not too familiar with the Sugar list, so I'm not 100% sure what form of removal they run. I know a couple of the cards here. So 11 into 8 here. We're going to say no block. And I'm going to give them... So I need to give them 4k worth of counter. I'm going to give them the Hody. I'm going to give them the Killer Blocker. Because we have enough bodies on board that we can pressure back in. And they have to focus on the Kid. So they're going to play another one of the Doflamingos. Don 1, play 1/5 cost, lower Don Quixote Pirate. Okay, so they just do the same thing. On play, trash an event, draw 2 cards. And then in the turn, they can ready a bunch of Dawn. Alright, so back over to us. We do draw this. I don't know if it's enough, though. And I can't lock this down with Carrot. So I think they run events. So I don't think I'm going to be able to take this guy out with what I have. So maybe I just play down this. Kind of wall up behind here. So that's 5, so we'll go... We're going to go 9 with Carrot first. I can't choose any enemy targets, so... 9 into 5, see if we can get rid of some cards. You may rest one of your Dawn to add a Dawn. Okay. And they're going to give -4 around the board. Or -3 to 2 characters. So I still need to protect this, right? 8 with a guard point. 9. Alright, so they're utilizing a lot of Dawn. So maybe it is best to try to go here, right? This is a 5k swing. So 5. I still need 5 more Dawn, right? So I only have a couple options here. I want to at least keep this to be able to play that and then this. So 1, 2, 2. Alright, so this is going to be a 7k swing. We're going to go into life with that. And then this will be a 5k swing into life. And then we're going to play down another blocker and pass turn. I don't have a lot of counter in hand, but I have 3 blockers on the field. So here we have an 11k swing in. We're just going to use our blocker. So this is going to be an 8 to 8. We're going to use our counter here. 8 to 8 again. We're going to use a blocker. So they can go 9 here. Use our blocker. Now we're going to force them to have to use their Dawn to pressure here. Which, they're okay, so they can do that. So 1 Dawn open. They got ready some Dawn open. So Kid's still alive. Kid lives another day. But now Carrot gets to freeze down one of these. I'm going to go 10 into life, freezing down one of the Razanatis. They have their blocker here. They have events. Can go 5 into life with leader. They did get a Hell's Judgment back from the trash, which is good. For them, not for us. Okay, so it's now a 5k swing again. So this is going to be a 6k swing. We're going to just pressure into life. Because we broke down 2 of theirs. Another Hell's Judgment, man. Okay, that's it over. They have 1 life, we have 3. They have to get the kid. They're going to get the kid this turn. There's nothing I can do about it. So they're probably going to take out Kid and Carrot. So 8 to 8, they get it. And now they have a 9 into the Carrot. That's fine. They're running out of cards, but they still keep finding blockers in events. So bottom one if your leader includes. So on KO, they can get a purple event back. Makes sense. Gotta take this one. Rest an opponent's character with cost 4 less. Yes, please. We're gonna rest their blocker here. This is gonna give us an opportunity to try to pressure game. Because they've only got 2 cards in hand. I mean, granted, they seem to have what they need all the time, though. So we're gonna go 10k into life. And we're gonna lock down this Razanati. Okay. This is gonna be another 10k. Or should I'm just gonna have to go for it. And hopefully we get it. If I have to go 11. I mean, if we don't get it, we don't get it. Alright, we got it. Here we have Bonney versus Law. Opponent's choosing to go first. This isn't a horrible hand, so we're going to keep it. We have a little bit of options in the mid game. We have a 2k and a blocker. They're going to play down their Luffy Searcher, getting a Cavendish. Back over to us, 2 Dawn. Can't really attack. We're just going to deploy down our blocker here, past turn. Because, like, more likely theirs was just going to go to their hand. Float down a blocker. Okay. I'm putting Cavendish on top. So they have a 5k swing here if they want it. We're going to just take it. We're just going to go 8k swing. They can use their Bonney blocker if they want. Or they can put their Cavendish from the life back in their hand. They use the blocker, which is fine. Pass turn. So, Law, if you don't know what it does, if Dawn 1 activate main once per turn, if they have a cost 5, if they have a total cost 5 more, they can return one of their characters to their hand to reveal the top card of their life. If the card is a supernova type card, with a cost 5 or less, they can play it, which is kind of what they were doing here. They played this Law to bounce something draw. We're going to use card action here to rest their blocker. They all kind of do different things. I'm not really sure what we're doing in this matchup, so we're going to use a blocker. Not sure if the Cavendish is going to be better. The Smoker. Alright, so 6 Dawn here. First, I know we're going to play down Carrot. We want to freeze this leader. Or this blocker here for a minute. So we're going to go 5 into life with our leader. They're going to counter. Going to pass it back. So the Carrot's pretty good about keeping their blockers locked down. Smoker's good about getting rid of, like, when they put stuff to the top of their life, or if it's a good one, we know what it is, we could pressure to banish it. And Cavendish just gives us those little extra extended plays we need. So they're going to play Bonney down, which is, they can lock down one of our Dawn, which isn't great. I don't think they even did it. I could be wrong. So 6 here, we're going to just put their Bonney down, say no block, and with 2k. I don't know if they locked our Bonney, or one of our Dawn down or not. So now they played Cavendish off of life, which is good. Gave them some open Dawn, playing a Tashigi here. They did not freeze our Dawn, so I think we're going to play down the Smoker. We're going to, they don't have any blockers here, so we need to focus. We're going to go 9 into this, freezing down their Law. But we're going to go 9 into their rested Bonney. See if they want to give us 4k worth of counter. We get that one. We'll go 5 into life. Just see if we can get another card out of hand. Because Law really doesn't want to go too low on life. Because they play from their life. So once their life is gone, their leader effects really hit or miss. So we're just going to pass it back. We already keep their blocker locked down. But I mean, they could get around it by putting it back in hand, technically. So this Law is really good. Secret rare from OP10. Comes into play, they put a supernova on top of their life, which they put a Cavendish. Then they gave their leader Arrested Dawn. So I know it's a Cavendish, so it's not, they don't really value it too much because they already have one. Okay, so now they have 2 Cavendishes on the field, which is weird because now they won't be able to use their effects to ready more Dawn. So they're going to pressure 6 here. We're going to use card action and rest down this Law. And we're going to say no block, and we're just going to give them a counter. 6 here, no block. I don't know if we care about the Cavendish anymore. I mean, it's good, but we're just gonna count. We're gonna give him the Cavendish. We decided to go Smoker and Carrot. The board's getting locked down. So loss or the Luffy Searcher getting the kid, A-drop kid. Okay, okay, that's pretty good. So now we're at 10 Dawn here. So we're gonna drop down. They don't have a Tashigi, right? And we're gonna pop their 9K. We're gonna go 6 here, resting their keep freezing down their Law. We're gonna pressure this Cavendish, which actually benefits them, but it's a body off the field. It benefited them to let it go, personally. All right, so we're gonna go 5 into life. Okay, so they get rid of our blocker. That's not good. All right, so we're going to pressure into this Law blocker that we keep freezing. We're gonna pressure 7K into it. See if we get a card out of hand, or we're just gonna keep freezing it. Well, they're gonna probably take this turn to focus on the Carrot. Back over to the opponent. With 2 Cavendishes, they're not gonna be able to use their Dawn effect, but it's still a 6K swing. So we still have 4 life. We have the 9-drop Zoro, but we had to get the Shanks down to get rid of their Law. We have a Tashigi, and we also have. I don't know if this Zoro is gonna be good enough anymore, because they're only at 2 life. I mean, it's still a good card. If we get it down and we can survive a rotation, they're definitely not going to be able to counter out of it. But we do have the 11K Shanks already on the field. But I think right now what we need to do is focus on the board and not so much of their life, because Law's going to be taking its own life to use its effect. So here we are going to use the card effect. We're going to just rest down the other Cavendish here, and we'll give it 2K. So they still have viable swings here, but they're going to utilize their Dawn for it. I still feel we need to protect the Carrot. Unfortunately, I hope they put more Dawn, because I really don't want to over-counter that. How important is that to save at this point? Because we have the 11K if we really want to get rid of their blocker, right? I think I'm going to have to let it go, unfortunately, because I just don't want to give that Zoro up right now. Were they playing something big? The 8-drop kid. Okay, I'm glad I didn't, because now we have to focus on this before we can focus on anything else. But this Shanks should take it out. Unless those are both 2Ks, this Shanks will take care of this unless they cheat down a blocker. Alright, so if your character be KO'd or removed by effects. Okay, well, it's not going to be an effect. I'm just going to KO it. Alright, so here we are going to pressure and get rid of this 8 into 11. There's no way for them to counter out. If this is a 2K, they're solid from this hit. But I think I need to guarantee that this goes away. So we're going to pressure 8 into the rested Law blocker. There's no way for them to counter out. We're going to deploy down our Zoro. And then we're going to use the Smoker effect to ready that Dawn. And now we're just going to pressure a 5K swing into life. So let's see if this is a 1K. Which it was. Okay. So they're at 2 life. We have 4 life still, so we're not completely in danger of losing right now. That Zoro is going to be able to clean up the game on our turn. If they take the turn to pressure either one of those characters, the Smoker I'm more likely going to let go. The Shanks, they're going to have to commit a lot of Dawn to pressure it, and I probably will protect it. Okay, who are you locking down? If one of your opponent's rested characters are Dawn. Okay, so they froze the Shanks, which is smart. But that just means that this Zoro is going to be able to just push through. Unless this is a Beiji maybe, but I don't even think it's going to matter, because I just go 9 and then push in. Just keep going, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to put 2 on their leader here. They're going to pressure 7 into that Tashigi. We're going to rest it. And then I'm going to say no block. I'm actually going to protect it so they can focus another turn. I don't want them focusing the Shanks, but we only have the 0-drop event in hand, so if this... Okay, that's pretty good. So they're going to be able to gain a little bit of life here. If they... So this has to be a Supernova from their hand. But I still think they can give a rested Dawn to their leader, but... Or to any character? No, they just put it on there. 7-7 here. We can't do anything about it, but that's their turn. So now we're just going to go, and we're going to pressure 12 using card action to ready it. And then we're just going to go again. And we got it. Here we have Bonney versus Usopp. We're going to go first here. We're going to keep this hand. We draw Dawn. With Bonney, we should be going second, though. Ball's going to play down their stage, passing it back over to us. So we're going to just put 3 on Bonney, I think, and we're just going to attack 8 into life. They take this hit. We're just going to pass it back over to them. So we got plenty of Razanati. So 5 into life here. I'm going to use a block or a counter here. And play down their blocker. A couple blockers for themselves. We're just going to go 5. See if we get a card out of hand. We're going to play down the carrot just to get it out of the way. So we'll have it for next turn. I don't think they're going to swing with their blockers. And if they do, they'll have to invest all their Dawn to get good swing. So 8 going into life here. We're going to take this one. Going to play down another blocker. Okay. So we're at 7 here. So we're going to drop down our Hody Jones. We're going to rest down 2 other blockers. We're going to take a life here. We're going to go 6 into life. Keeping that. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's alright. I was going to try to keep their Bartolomeo blocker, but we just took it. That's fine. I might as well just clear their board, right? Because they're going to use a Hody. They're going to probably block with this one. No, they took it. Pass back. Not what I wanted to do, but it works out. Because we'll be at 9 Dawn next turn, so we should be able to drop the Zoro. Won't be able to keep any Dawn open, but if we're keeping their board clear, we shouldn't have to worry too much. I mean, they do have their stage here. Their Coliseum. So they're going to play down on Rebecca. They do get to draw a card, so they're going to play... Yep, that's the one that... This is the one I was worried about. But we don't have any active characters, so... Kind of irrelevant. I'm surprised they didn't actually attack. So now I guess the question is, how do we want to do this? We have 9 Dawn. We can make them. We could force them into the kid, and drop down a blocker, or we could play Zoro trying to set up for next turn. The problem with that, this right here, they have a lot. They don't have a lot of cards. We're gonna go with the. Let's go here first. We'll go 6. See what happens with our carrot. Counter out, so it's 4. We'll go 5. I think they're gonna try to hold their blocker for Hody. Because if they get to 7 cards in their trash, we're going to have to be careful with this guy. So they're at 6 now. It won't take much for them. I think we need to be safe this turn. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to put our last on here. At least forcing them to try to take care of this. I wanted to play the Zoro down to try to close it out next game, but... Okay, one-legged soldier coming down. We're going to give our kid -3. Okay, so they're going to try to... Oh, that works. That works. The gravity blade. They got rid of our carrot and our kid to the bottom of the deck. 5, making a 5k swing into life. They do have enough here to reset that. We're going to counter this one. I just don't want to get caught with like too low a life with this card here. I'll play down the Razanat. Trash that. If they go 7, we'll take the first one. I don't know why they're not attacking with that. We're going to play down the Zoro here. We're going to pressure into this Rebecca. See if they want to give a counter out of hand or something. Just gave it to us. They drew their card. Now we're going to go 8 into life. See if we get some more cards out of hand. They take that hit. So maybe they're trying to get to 15 and try to do one final big swing with the Gum Gum Kong thing. If we can survive through this turn, I think we'll be alright. We'll definitely eat through their hand next turn with Zoro and Hody. We do have a Razanati here, and we can rest down something. So they're only going to get really... Depending on what they play, they could get multiple swings because of their stage here. But they can only really target the Hody, unless they drop this guy. Okay, so they got rid of our blocker. That's pretty good. 3 on leader going 8. Okay, so it's going to be an 8k swing somewhere. We're going to rest that Luffy. That way, if they want to still utilize it, they're going to have to empty out their trash to stand it. Which they did, which is fine. But they can only do it one time. That's just a really big swing. It doesn't have double attack or anything like that. So we're just going to take this. And we should be able to clean them up on our turn. Alright, yeah, we got it. Here we have Bonney versus Boa. Opponent's choosing to go second. We got a little bit of a decent hand here, so we're going to keep. Going to draw our Dawn, and we're just going to pass it over. Back over to us. 3 Dawn. We're going to use our Bonney search to grab a kid. And then we're going to attack 5 into life with our leader. I'm going to counter out here. And we just pass it over. So they're going to go 5. Yeah, that's fine. They can have the Bonney searcher. So they have 4 open Dawn. Passing it back over to us. We're at 5 Dawn now. So we're going to play down our Cavendish. And then we're going to pressure a 6k swing with leader. Got to counter out. We pass back. I don't know if Kid's going to be good here in this matchup because they like to bounce a lot of things and tuck things into the deck. Alright, so this says you may trash. Your opponent chooses a character they own and places it at the bottom of it. That's okay. That's pretty cool. And they had to get rid of 2 cards though, so we're gonna use leader effect to rest that loopy. 7 into life. We're gonna take it. Okay, that good to know. That loopy is pretty good. So we're gonna deploy down the carrot. We're gonna deploy down a blocker, and we're just gonna pressure 5 into life. Interesting loopy. That was from one of the promos. I think it was reprinted in like the premium boosters as well. I could be wrong. So we're at 7 down now. They're gonna play down their buggy. They're gonna look at the top 3 cards of the deck, put them back in any order. They still have 7 to work with. We got some blockers. We got 1 2K. Play down the Josie to get the carrot back to hand and pressuring 6. We're gonna utilize our 2K. Back over to us. We're at 9 Dawn now. We're gonna do the kid thing. We're gonna do kid. Because if they're gonna use the red rock, I'd rather them do it not on the Zoro. That was my choices, was gonna play Zoro or kid. I figure kid gets me in it. Yep, there's the gravity blade. They got rid of our blockers. This is gonna be a 10 into 8 here. We can technically counter, which we will, because then they can't pressure anymore. So 2, and we're just gonna give them a 1K. Let's see. How do I want to do this? If I go 9 into here, I'm quite sure they'll protect that. But we're going to pressure 9 into this Josu. Get some cards out of hand, which is good. We're going to play down the carrot, freezing the Josu. Play down a blocker. And then we're going to pressure 6K into life. Passing it back, they still have to pressure the kid, but we did shut down the Josu. So they're going to have to invest more Dawn here. We have a blocker. We have no... And that works too with the Kairos putting our carrot back in hand. And now they're going to go 8 here. We're going to rest the Kairos. And we're going to say no block. And we're going to give them that carrot. So they actually gave us a way to protect it. Now Shanks is pretty good. The Zoro. We're going to go Shanks to get rid of Kairos. We're going to go 9 with the kid into the Josu. Then 5 into life. Passing it back. At minimum, we're stalling until we can get down our big bodies to start pressure. Like, they're only at 2 life, so we still have the Razanati blocker. So the wall's coming down, probably put our blocker back in hand, which is... So they're going to go 10 into the kid here. We have to give it to them. Now they can swing freely into our life. We're going to take this one. We are going to counter with this one. They have 3 left. They're going to put down a blocker. Okay. Alright, so I think we're going to try to... I mean, this deck's got a lot of 2Ks. Just trying to think, can we pressure enough in the game? So I would need an 8K swing with Bonney. 8K with Hody. So let's play Hody. We're going to rest their blocker. Take it to life. So we draw into a Shanks, which isn't great for countering. We're going to go 8 into life with our leader. We're going to go 8 into life again with leader. And then we're going to go 11. See if we can get out. We got it. Here we have Bonney versus Bello Betty. We are going to go second here. We're going to keep this. We have some 2Ks. We have a blocker. We have a top end. So Bello Betty is very aggressive. So we're going to do our best to keep the board clear as much as possible, as well as pressuring into their life as we can. We're just going to play down a blocker early, because Bello is very good. So we nearly got the Karasu, which is probably the best card in the deck. So 5 here. We're going to take the first hit. 5 again. I'm going to give him the Cavendish here. We value the carrot a little bit more. We're just going to focus on getting rid of this character. Passing turn. We have some 2Ks, so it's really rough when they're swinging 5s. Because we don't really want to over counter. So Scratchman of Poop might actually be viable as actually something to play out. We're going to take that. That's a little rough. Alright, we're going to draw cards. We're at 6 now. We're going to play down our Tashigi. We're going to set a Dawn as active. Or Smoker, sorry. I keep getting these guys confused by the art. So now we're going to go 6 into life. So we still have the 1 Dawn open. Smoker's going to be good here, where we can start banishing their life, which means they won't be able to get their triggers or more cards in hand. Because once they start deploying their characters down, they start trashing cards. Yeah, this is like, they're doing it right now. So if they trash a card here, they can play something else down, which is what they're going to plan on doing. More likely, yep, the Karasu. So now our leader's a 4K. So here we're going to use card action, and I'm going to rest their blocker. And I'm going to say no block. I'm going to give them a 2. I really value that carrot, though. I'm going to have to overcounter here because I need this carrot. So we're 8 Dawn here. I think we're going to play down the Hody so we can rest these guys. And we're going to try to pressure into this board. So I value getting rid of the Karasu more than the other ones right now. So I'm going to use Hody into that. See if they want to give me 4k worth of counter. Because that Karasu is rough. And then the next thing I value getting rid of is the Ivankov here. So I'm hoping they counter enough here where I can still pressure again. So here I'm just going to pressure a 5k swing in with my leader into this Ivankov. Because I still have the 7k to back it up. We're going to do this instead of Dawn. Now I'm going to make it an 8k back in. More likely, if they want to give me all the cards in hand, it's not the end of the world. Alright, so we got that. So this blocker is okay, but now it's the board's a little bit more controlled. We can still lock down one of the attacks. A lot of Bello Betty lists have went away from the Inazuma Rush one, but it's still a viable option. There's 9 cards, and they have 9 Dawn, 5 cards, 3 life. So we're, like I said, we're just trying to. Bello Betty is an aggro glass cannon style push, push, push. We're trying to control the board. They just passed. Okay, so we're at 10 Dawn now, I think, but we got it.